Okay, I'm going to do a short video about publishing books with Amazon. And what I'm going to show you, I have proofs of my 2 books. I'm having the books, the archetype books, put out in ebook format, paperback, and hardback. And I want to show you the difference. It'll pick it up, the camera, the difference between doing an paperback that's on with the pictures that are on regular paper, and then at the higher end you're going to get a really good paper and pictures on hardcover. Now, of course, the difference is huge difference in price. This book here, I will buy it. I'm able to buy this at cost for like $7. So I could sell it. You know, that's with before shipping and everything else, and before tax. This one is $25, and to make a profit, this one will be selling for $19.99, and this one will be selling for $35. At a $35 price point, I'll make like 20 cents. You know, I'm doing it in hardback because it's a really nice book, and I want to have one for myself. Of course, it doesn't cost me anything to do it, so there's always that aspect to it. The books are 232 pages. They're full color. I could have color on every page, but they're not on every page. Now, here is the paperback. It's a typical paperback. You know, it's a glued spine. Here's the picture, which it's a fine picture. But as you notice, you can see the other side. You can see the other side behind it. So I could have had this done on high-end paper, but I chose not to because that would just make it more expensive. So I have it on just the regular paper, but the picture turned out quite lovely. Now, the other thing I want to show you is this is the picture. Another thing about my cards, which I showed my cards in another video, the actual pictures in the book are squared, and I crop them to fit onto a poker-sized card. Now, you can see the difference here with the color saturation. This is a somewhat glossy card, and this is on paper. It's not glossy, and you can just see how different it is. But the thing is, you don't need a card with these books. The cards are offered only for people who like cards, who use cards, who are card readers, or who just like to collect cards, of which I was one of them, got all into a lot of other things. So you can see the difference in the color saturation. But still, this is a great alternative to provide a beautiful book. I do all my formatting with Vellum, and it's a program that only works with Apple computers. It's a fantastic program, and if you're writing a lot of books, you should definitely, and assuming you have an Apple, you just should definitely get the Vellum program. It's like $250, but it's good for life. It does all the upgrades, and it saves you a huge amount of trouble. And I was able to mount these photographs directly from the copies I had of the pictures. These are the copies I had from pictures that were generated from AI directly onto the paper, and I didn't have to change anything, which was really nice. In fact, this whole process of once I got you abilish what size picture you want with AI, and then they do the same picture, and it was a very smooth transition to get them from AI onto the page. Now, when you have vellum, you can make this picture any size you like. It can be, you put one size in there, and then you get a choice of 4 different sizes. And of course, you don't have to use squares. I like the square. So there's that. So you can see the difference in the color right there. Now I'm going to show you the hardcover paperback. This paper is got a satin finish. It's higher end. You do kind of see, against the light, you can see the back side, but there is some bleed through a little bit from the others, from the printing. But from a perspective of the drawing of the painting, it's much more saturated. Not as saturated as the card, though, but much more saturated. So I just wanted to make that, if someone's interested in doing both a paperback and a hardcover with pictures or in color, there is quite a bit of more expense when you do a hardcover book. I mean, that shouldn't surprise people. But you can add color, and it's a great thing to have, in your library or something. Or, if someone buys a book for their library, there's our book collectors out there. With these cards, I don't know if I mentioned it, how I got these cards. So I went on to AI, and I gave them two different prompts. One of them were photographs of my collection. Who are you, or who am I, or I can't remember what I called the installation. These are all drawings that I did of women that were from my art journal. And then I put those up as a picture, and then I also gave it prompts. And a lot of it was from my author notes. I gave prompts from my author notes. So then it generated pictures. The cool thing about when you generate pictures with AI, for one thing, it's gotten a lot better, because I was working with Night Cafe, just having fun with Night Cafe for several months. But now ChatGPT, I work with ChatGPT. ChatGPT has taken over. You can't do as much as if you're on a specifically AI art site. But for ChatGPT, it was turned out really nicely. And then it generates a picture. It doesn't edit pictures. There's no editing of the pictures. It generates a picture. And then if you don't like it, you say, well, I want different colors, or I want, her face to be something, a different orientation, or it will do that. But it won't be the same picture, because each time you generate a picture, it's different. It doesn't copy anything. It's always generating stuff, which is really pretty interesting, pretty cool. I would say each of these pictures probably took me, on an average, maybe 5 attempts to get what I actually wanted. But they did a beautiful job. And I was a little concerned. I wasn't sure if the deck was going to be cohesive, but because I used my own pictures, now my pictures that I used, you can't tell that I used those pictures, because I was just using them for color and positioning maybe. So it's very interesting to put your own art up there and give it a prompt and see how it manipulates it. So Amazon, I was thinking about this earlier. My career of self-publishing, it's been over 20 years now, and I've done a lot of different things, gone to a lot of different publishers, and a lot of people dog Amazon. I don't know why, because it's the best deal around, and they really do cater to writers, self-published writers. Just because you're not selling a book doesn't mean they're there to, they have your product, they make it easy for you to publish, they give you a very generous royalty, and sometimes there are little quirks in the system. If you get a badly printed book, you can send it back. So it's really, Amazon's been wonderful if you're publishing through Amazon. I would strongly suggest publishing through Amazon if you don't have a publisher. even if you do have a publisher. A lot of people have their backlist back from publishers, and they publish them on Amazon. They do quite well. So what else did I want? I just wanted to show the difference in the paperback book with just the regular paper. Now you can get a higher end paper for this, and it would be a heavier, probably more like this paper. But I don't think the picture comes out as nice as this, as in this book. And the cost, it seems like the cost for standard paper, if you wanted to color in your book, the standard paper color is very reasonable to print. This is not cheap to print. And this is, the binding is, you know, this kind of binding. Signatures. I mean, they have signatures. I don't know if you can see them. This book, you can fold flat, which is nice. Flat book, pretty much. Anyway, self-publishing is a lot of fun because you get to do all kinds of stupid things like this. This is my dedication page. It's for the holiday guys, Chris, Peter, Miles, and Bob. These are people I have over for Christmas and Thanksgiving. I know, so much fun. So, the cost is very expensive for resale, and this is not expensive for resale, but it's a very good option, and I think if a reader were to buy this, they'd be very happy with it. Again, you don't need the cards to have the book. You can have the book, and the cards are ancillary to it. It's just that if you're a card reader, you could use these for, you know, in other decks, use them as qualifiers or clarifiers, or just something like that, however you use cards. Okay, that's all I have to say and show at this time. Have a great day.